Welcome back to Above the Line podcast, 12 rounds with Geoff Frazer. Geoff, in this round, we're going to talk about the state of modern day boxing. To start with, I want you to tell me how you think the boxing scene in Australia is going as far as TV, fighters competing on the world level and all that sort of stuff.
All right. I think it's on the rise. I think, I can't remember the last time it's been, I don't know if it's just because I'm involved in boxing, but it just seems like it's. I think it's on the rise. I think it's like, No Limits come on board. They've had a bit of a rise, and I think they might be on the decline.
Yeah.
So is that too much?
No,
because they brought it on. Tasman Fighters are doing great things now. Promoters are starting to work in with each other.
Yeah.
I think we're hitting a golden era. I think.
Yeah. Do you think there's ever been an era like this, or is this as good as it's been forever?
I think there was like TV ringside. My dad was telling me about it. He goes, "This in the '70s."
Yeah,
the
okay,
80s.
so it's been a while.
And that's been a while, but he was telling me about that. That was a golden era back then.
Yeah.
But I think we're having a resurgence because I think 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't where it is right
Yeah,
now.
well, I couldn't agree more. Like, I arrived in Australia 12 years ago, and during my professional career here, No Limit were just taking off. They had Paul Gallen, doing his boxing thing, which is really what helped it explode even before Tim Tszyu sort of became the main event material. But I just missed that wave. It was so clear to me that it was only just expanding, and then obviously we've had this mad rush of between Tasman Fighters and all of them. They're all killing it even on the world scene now, being on DAZN so that global audience can see Australian boxing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely. It seems. Also, I'll have to use Maxi as an example. He walks down the street and people recognise him now.
That's wild.
So
yeah.
I'm like, well, it was never like that.
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mundine or Danny Green.
Yeah. Well, I think in Australia it's a very difficult thing to do because something that I'm aware of is in England, if you're even a minor celebrity, the whole country knows who you are. In Australia, they're far more relaxed. When I first got to Australia, I was in Nando's and I look over and Russell Crowe is just sat there having dinner. And this is random, this is off topic, but Russell Crowe's just sat there having dinner and no one bothered him. If that was in England, he would be mobbed. So if he's getting recognised and people are coming up to him in the street, he's doing something right, because I don't think Australians are really, their culture's not so much about celebrity.
No, I think it's on the up. It's growing. But a lot of that's to do with social media.
Yeah,
I think if you don't have social media presence as a boxer, you're missing the boat.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I couldn't agree more with that. That's actually, we'll get to that in another episode, but that is something that I want to talk to you about, because boxing's not just about boxing anymore. I think the fight itself is a minor part of the bigger picture.
It's the storyline.
Exactly. Correct. And what about on the world scene? Tell us about how you think the world scene is in boxing.
I think it's definitely, it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Look at that. If you just go by, Netflix has taken over with Hollywood, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Now Netflix has got boxing on it. So what's that saying about boxing?
Yeah.
I think that's your, if Netflix is putting boxing on, then it's big.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. And what about if you're comparing it to old school boxing, both in the terms of the boxing scene itself and the fighters? How do you see the comparison between, say, this day and age and the 80s?
Oh, I don't say this day and age. I think sports evolve, like anything. Businesses evolve. I think boxing's evolved. What are you talking about, stylistically? Or
everything, in terms of fighting style, in terms of the business side of it. Let's start with the business. How do you see has the business side got better or worse?
I think the business side is starting to boom again. I think the business of boxing is big again. I think it sort of goes through peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
But I think it's on the up again. I think it's going to start peaking again.
Do you think that Turki Al-Ashik's got something to do with that, or is he a minor part?
I think it's a minor part.
Yeah.
I think he's made some big fights happen, but I think boxing as a whole is on the up again.
Yeah.
I think I would say the UFC was bad, but I think they almost went to the point where they had too much of it, and it's sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a different strokes for different folks. There's always going to be mad boxing enthusiasts. People just like combat sports. I think it's on the up again.
Yeah.
Stylistically, I think we went through a bit of a phase where we had more boxing athletes.
Yep.
And the skills were starting to fall off.
Yep.
But now I think it's making more skills. Starting.
Yeah.
I think it's always things go in peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever always going to be better or worse. I think it's just going to. I think it's cyclical.
Yeah.
The sport's going to evolve, and then people are going to get better skill-wise and drop off.
There's nothing to stop it. We always assume that it's going to be linear, but the reality is what happened here might be this style there. So if everyone goes back to that, suddenly the journey starts again.
I think it just goes round and round.
Same in UFC. You notice at the start it was jiu-jitsu, and then wrestlers learn how to beat the jiu-jitsu guys, and then boxers, and then the guys with good takedown. And
well, now
so
you look at
do
UFC and go, UFC's got like guys that are they've started from the sport from the get-go. They weren't just good at one or two disciplines.
Yeah.
So the sport's evolved there too. So.
Do you see there's a style, could you picture the perfect style that's the next style to come through in boxing, or what's the next big change in boxing? I know it's so hard to predict.
I don't think there's such a thing. I think every one style beats another style. There's like everyone's, this is better than that. I just think it depends on the fighter.
It is a fighter's main style thing.
And who can adapt. It's all about being able to adapt.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And that's the thing, like anything, businesses adapt.
Yeah.
Everything evolves. It sounds like I'm a scientist.
There we go. Yeah.
But I think it's just the ability to adapt. Whoever can adapt better wins.
Yeah, for sure. And there's always, like you said, there's always something that will beat A will beat C, and B will C.
There's a counter for everything.
Yeah, exactly right. So we were talking about boxing's on the up. You know, Netflix has got it. Australian boxing's booming. What can Australia do, and what challenges do they have to overcome to take a bigger piece of that world pie on the global stage?
I think grassroots. I think we've got to get a. We are coming.
That's because you're about to speak about the amateurs.
Yeah.
The PC brigade turned up.
I look at it and go, I think the amateur system's got to change a little bit, and they've got to stop rewarding guys that just go on there and just throw. That's not boxing. In my eyes, that's brawling. And I think we've got to get away from that, and the officials and that, they've got to understand the sport a bit better for it to evolve.
Yeah.
I think at the low end level, I think we're behind when it comes to what actual boxing is.
You don't see it. You think that it goes all the way back to the grassroots is where Australia's falling short in terms of we need to evolve the amateur scene.
I look at it, it's the officiating, it's the coaching. I think the whole system's got to be rejigged a little bit to create better boxers.
Yeah.
Not better brawls.
True. Is it? We were talking about it earlier today. Volume seems to be favoured a lot sometimes, and volume. Land on the gloves doesn't mean anything.
That's not boxing.
Yeah.
So I like that style. That's not boxing.
Yeah.
It's just the aim of the game is hit, not get hit. Yeah. It's that simple. Whoever does better wins.
Yeah. What do you put that down to? Do you think it's the judging, or do you think it's the coaching?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
I think some coaches go in there and then it's just like, they want to fight to the amateur system, which in Australia is throw more punches.
Yeah.
And I just go, that's not boxing. And then when they get to the world stage, at the world amateurs, they're getting outboxed. They're getting outpointed.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Queensland judging is probably the worst in Australia. Australia is probably the worst in the world.
Yeah.
When it comes to when you watch it at the national, when you see the world champs and that, or the Commonwealth Games, you see the ones that we're getting it wrong. Australian judges.
Yeah.
It was a Queenslander. Sorry, that's probably too bad. But
man, if that's how you feel,
that's how I feel. I look at it and go, they've got to understand the sport a bit more. I think, and that comes down to funding. Yeah. And it's like these guys are giving up their time for free and all this stuff. Then they're watching 1,000 fights. I'm like,
that is a big thing.
I got a thing where I think anyone who over 15 years of age should be given back to the sport. I think they could be in there, and there's all right. You got to adjudicate so many fights.
Yeah.
As long as they're not from your club or you're not your friend. But then at the same time, like also other sports, like when we were playing cricket, we'd have to go stand at square leg.
Yeah.
As
I don't
even
know what that means. You have to explain that to me.
Yeah, we had to do that.
What does that mean, square leg?
Square leg. So, in cricket, like someone from the opposite team had to sit there and help officiate.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So I think, and then tennis, when tennis used to do it, if you're playing tennis fixtures or whatever, or you're playing at a state level, even state and national level, you had to go and help and sit there and referee. Like, you'd score your own match, but you'd have to sit there in the umpire chair and oversee it.
Yeah.
I think boxing should be doing the same.
Yeah, I also think that'd be beneficial for the boxers because they're watching.
They understand the sport, mate. I think why not implement that with boxing?
Yeah.
And that it makes these guys give back. Yeah. It's not all about me, which I find a lot of boxers have that.
I haven't written this question down, but you're kind of touching on something that I think about quite often. Do you think that your boxing brain has improved more as a coach than as a boxer because
100%.
you're watching boxers all the time?
100%.
Yeah.
I would say when you're as a boxer, you tend to have blinkers on.
Yeah.
You're in there, you're in the thick of it all, but you're not having that third eye.
Yeah.
You take a different perspective when you're coaching, and that's why I get my fighters to coach. Yeah. Then they start to get a more well-rounded view on boxing. Yeah. I think the best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah.
So and that's what I implement with my fighters. They're in the gym coaching.
Yeah, that's amazing. You've kind of already answered my next question in terms of the importance of the amateur boxing for Australia to get to the next level. But how important do you see amateur boxing as part of your journey to becoming an elite level pro?
I think it's I think to an extent it's super beneficial, but then I think you can also spend too much time in the amateurs if you're fighting to the system that they have in Australia.
Yeah,
I think too many of these guys are taking too many shots and they get too comfortable with getting hit because those gloves are.
Wait till you put a pair of pro.
Yeah, you put a pro. That's the hurt business, and all of a sudden these top level amateurs get in and they get hit and they go, fuck.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
All of a sudden it's like, well, hey, it's like ping pong and tennis.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can describe the two sports. Amateur boxing is not pro boxing.
Yeah.
And I look at it and go, they get found out, and these guys that come in and can throw 1,000 punches, don't going to work in those pros, man.
Again, off topic, what was it like for you the first time you felt the 8-ounce glove dig into your head?
I was a bit of a fucking, I had that mentality. This is why I coach the way I coach. I thought I was invincible. I thought I could walk 3 shots. I never got knocked out or anything, but I like, it felt, I was like, whew, but I was like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, which is not good. So you felt it, and I was like, whew, but I thought if I can hurt someone with these, I had that rock ape mentality, which I try to instill in my boxers not to have, because it's not a smart way to fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Keep your brain cells. There's a long time. There's a lot of life left after
I'm lucky
boxing.
I had enough brain cells. Like, I wasn't, I was a good student at school. I understood. I went to university and all these things. I had brains.
Yeah.
Some of these boxers don't have brains.
Yeah. Again, sorry guys.
So I'm saying, mate, you got to save that. You got to save it up there. You don't want to be slurring your speech. You don't want to be in a position where your memory's shot because you've taken too many headshots. Yeah. This is a dangerous sport. And I look at it and go, I look at it and go, it's put your health first. Yeah. And that's one thing I realised, like, hang on a sec, and that's why I coach these guys the way I coach. It's like, I got no long-term effects yet, I don't think. Yeah. But I look at it and go, yeah, you want to look after your brain. You want your health after this sport. There's more to life than just boxing. Which
brings me to my next question then, like, how often, comparing today's way to the old way, like we said, we're going today's way versus the 80s, how often do you believe that fighters should be sparring? Do you see it as more or less than the 80s? Strength and conditioning, how do you implement that, or do you implement that into your game? Tell us about that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm a bit old school and new school.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, I got a strength and conditioning background.
Yep.
As I said, I did exercise science at university.
Yeah.
So I understand the body. I understand biomechanics. I understand the sports science. So I'm not one of these guys that says you should be. My fighters 4 weeks out from fight time, they're off road. Yeah. They're not running.
Yeah.
Because risk for injury starts getting too high.
Yeah.
If you understand energy systems, you can train energy systems, you can be very, very efficient in learning how to do that. Yeah. You don't have to be doing thousands of fucking push-ups, Ks. That's old school. It's obsolete.
I remember trying to tell someone that once. He didn't seem to want to listen too much when I...
What was his name?
Mr. Fennick, but I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
I remember having the exact same conversation, and I happened to agree
that's that
with
old
you.
school mentality, which is good. It worked, but there's new and improved ways to do things.
Yeah.
But then they're like, it trains the mind. I'm like, well, you can train your mind other ways too.
Yeah. Well, a heart rate zone's a heart rate zone. If you're going into the red zone, does it really matter whether you're doing it in a high risk environment or a low risk environment? Yeah, if what you're training is the conditioning aspect, well, we're on the same page anyway.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There's a science. The reason it's science gets tested and proven wrong and tested and proven wrong, and it's constantly evolving.
Again, evolution.
Evolution. So that's the thing. Like those old school methods, they're great and they work for then, but now the athletes are improving. They're stronger. This and that. The sport's evolving. You've got to get up with the times.
Yeah. And what about sparring? How much sparring should be fighters doing? Obviously, it changes throughout their career and during camp and stuff, but.
The way I do my things, like we do a lot of partner work. We're practically sparring every day, but it's not sparring because they know what's coming. They can slip, they roll, they're not getting hit. I have my guys spar twice a week, sometimes 3. Yeah. But also stylistically, I look at my guys, if they've taken a big shot in sparring, and I'm like, mate, you don't. That's your sparring done for the week.
Yes, yeah. So you're open to change.
I look at it and go, as long as they're not taking big shots, and you just watch the boys today,
very slick.
They're not getting hit much at all. So they can spar more. But then I'll say some of these guys, I look at these other gyms, they're in there punching on and just... Yeah. Like, I look at that and go, mate, no, I'm not allowing that. Yeah. Because I look at it and go, you've got to save your fighter's brain. They shouldn't be taking punishment. Yep. That's why I'm more defense first. If I see him taking too many shots, I'm like, no. That's it for sparring. Oh, what? I'm like, no, man, he took too many shots.
Again, I couldn't agree more with you. I see some gyms where, again, every day or every second day open sparring, I'm like, yeah, okay, you're producing good fighters, but at what cost? Like, you're damaging 50 kids to find one good one. Is that really what we're in the sport for?
I completely disagree with that. It depends on if you're taking punishment, then it's not right. That's checkers, not chess.
Yeah, exactly right. Funnily enough, that's exactly what I've got on the back of my t-shirt.
There you
Chess,
go.
not checkers. For round 3's bold pick, this is a good one. Alexander Usyk versus Lennox Lewis. In their primes, how and why?
Ooh. I'm going to go Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
I think Lennox Lewis is probably, I think he's one of, if not the best heavyweight.
Yeah.
I rate him super, super highly. Anyone that did beat him, he come back and beat.
Correct.
He's a big puncher. He's a smart fighter. I think Usyk would have been there for his uppercut.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. I like that.
I think
picking the shot.
I look at
the
way
Mike
Usyk
Tyson
fights
special.
and I look at it and go, I like Usyk, yeah, don't get me wrong, but I also look at it and go, the heavyweight division, I don't think is at its strongest.
Yeah.
I think Lennox Lewis, I think I back Lennox Lewis.
How does he do it? With the uppercut? Stoppage?
I think he catches him in the up. I think he puts him away. Maybe around 6 to 8.
Yeah. Oh, mad. That's good. That is a bold pick. When I was writing this down, because they're two of my favourite, I grew up on Lennox Lewis, who's my idol.
Yeah.
But now Usyk's mine.
I just look at the way he fights, the way he posts, the control. I think Usyk's style was great and all that, but I just think that shot was there for Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
I think it would have landed.
Lovely. I love that. And for the practical element for this session, are you happy to show me a good warm-up drill that you do with your fighters prior to either training or sparring?
Good. I don't want to give away too many secrets. Yeah, of course.
Right, let's do it.
Sweet. Bit of a different warm-up that I do just to get everything loose and moving. Essentially, you know the ABC? A lot of guys don't know how to do A through to Z. I make them do the ABC with their head. So they sit there and they go A, B, C, D, E, F, and then start using their feet as they do it as well. So it just teaches them to...
So draw in
the
letters
without... While they're moving their trunk.
While you're moving, yeah.
Yeah. And that just teaches them how to move their trunk and stay mobile the whole time. They can move their feet slightly, and then it's unpredictable.
Yeah. Is that something you do like before sparring?
My beginners, when they're starting to learn trunk movement. That's what little trick that I have, just to teach them how to move their head.
Learn the alphabet, baby.
Yeah. or 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. It's just drawing with their head. As long as their head stays within their knees, it works. As long as they're not going, you know.
Yeah.
And then with that stance, they're moving. So a little drill.
That's it.
You can try that one.
Yeah, I love that.